There is a specific kind of exhaustion that doesn't come from the work you do. It comes from the explaining you do after the work is done. It's the energy you spend justifying your no. The paragraphs you type defending a boundary that should have only needed one sentence. The way you rehearse conversations in your head, not because you're preparing, but because you're bracing. If you have ever walked away from a conversation and thought, "Why did I just explain myself like I was on trial?" This video is for you. My name is Sweet, and welcome to Her Blueprint, the space where women come to remember who they are. Today, you'll discover why explaining yourself too much is silently giving away your power, and what confident women do instead. Over-explaining doesn't come from nowhere. It's not a personality quirk you were born with. It was taught. Here's what I mean. As women, many of us were raised with an unspoken rule. Your decisions are not valid until someone else approves them. Your no is not enough unless it comes with a reason they accept. Your boundary is not real until it makes sense to the person on the other side. So we learned to come with evidence. We learned to build a case. We learned that "I don't want to" is not a complete sentence, even though it is. It always has been. Here's the truth. Every time you over-explain yourself, you are unknowingly reinforcing one message to the other person, to yourself, to the universe. My choices require your understanding to be valid. And that message is not true. It has never been true. But the more you explain, the more you believe it. And the more the people around you believe it too. Truth number one. And this will be uncomfortable to hear, but I need you to sit with it. When you over-explain, you are not communicating. You are negotiating. You are submitting your decision for approval to someone who was never meant to have that power. Think about the last time you said no to something and immediately followed it with a list of reasons. "I can't, because I have this thing. And also this. And I'm so sorry. And maybe next time." What you were actually doing was waiting for them to say, "Oh, okay, I understand. You're allowed to say no." You were looking for a release that they were never obligated to give you. Here's what I want you to know. You do not need someone to understand your reason for your reason to be valid. You do not need their comprehension to have your permission. And the more you offer your reasons up like evidence in a courtroom, the more you invite people to cross-examine you. Stop handing people a gavel over your life. Truth number two, and this one is harder. Some of the people in your life benefit from you over-explaining, not because they're villains, not necessarily because they're cruel, but because your constant justification keeps the power with them. When you explain yourself endlessly, you give them information. You give them entry points to argue. You give them the blueprint of your insecurities, what you feel guilty about, what you're afraid they'll think, what you're desperate to prove. And some people, consciously or not, will use that. They will keep the conversation going because as long as you're explaining, you haven't left. As long as you're defending, you haven't set the boundary. As long as you're seeking their understanding, they hold the keys. The most exhausting people in your life are not necessarily the loudest. They're the ones who require endless explanations and still never understand. And here's what you need to hear. After a certain point, it's not that they can't understand. It's that understanding is not in their interest. Your explanations are not changing their mind. They're just costing your peace. Truth number three, and this is the one that will give you permission to breathe. The right people in your life, they don't need your long explanations. They hear, "I can't make it," and they say, "I understand." Full stop. Think about the healthiest relationship you have. Not necessarily romantic. It could be a friend, a sister, a mentor. When you say no to them, do you feel the need to build a case? Or do you trust that they trust you? Here's the truth. People who respect you don't require your constant justification. They assume you have good reasons even when you don't share them. They believe your no is complete because they believe you are complete. A full person with a full life and full reasons that don't need to be litigated. And the people who demand explanations? The ones who make you feel like you're on trial every time you set a boundary? Their reaction is not evidence that you did something wrong. It's evidence that they were benefiting from you not having boundaries in the first place. The right people will not require you to perform for their understanding. Remember that. So what do you do instead? When the urge to explain rises up, and it will, what do you reach for? 3 things, small things, but they shift everything. 1. Pause before the explanation. The moment after you say, I can't, or I need, or no, let there be silence, not hostile silence, just space. You do not have to fill it. The discomfort of that silence is not yours to solve. 2. Trust the short answer. That doesn't work for me. I'm not available. I've decided not to. These are complete sentences. They do not need a paragraph after them. Say the short answer and let it stand. It will feel terrifying the first few times. Do it anyway. 3. Stop explaining to yourself too. Here's what I mean. Sometimes the person you're over-explaining to is you. You're running internal courtrooms trying to justify your own needs. Catch that. When you hear yourself building a case for a decision you've already made, pause and say, I know why I chose this. That's enough. Every woman who has ever stopped over-explaining started with one small silence. One moment where she let her no be enough. Yours is waiting. Her blueprint exists because there are millions of women carrying the exhaustion of over-explaining their existence and very few spaces that tell them they can stop. If this video spoke to something in you, share it with a woman who needs to hear it. Subscribe because your blueprint is just getting started. You were not designed to disappear. You were designed to become. Welcome to her blueprint. Your life by design.